Shalom. We're together now, at this moment, to experience the path to body, mind, spirit integration within ourselves and with others, even with the ever-present pressures in our lives. For this contemplative journey, it's helpful to be in a darkened room or one in which there's very low light. Lie down on your back on the floor or on a mat and get perfectly comfortable, spreading your arms and legs so they are comfortably positioned. Close your eyes. Make all final adjustments so you are as comfortable as possible. Allow your body to become still and relaxed. We'll begin this journey with a kavanah, an intention for what's to come. Our destination is a place of moral spirituality, where you consciously direct your responses to the psychic conflicts and internal discord which are inescapable in life. We are all subject to pressures we might call oppositional when we feel pushed to act in ways that seem inherently contradictory, in effect to do what appears to be impossible. So we want to find a place of physical well-being, mental clarity, and moral conviction for our actions, fully integrating our body, mind, and spirit. Our kavanah for this contemplative journey is, I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven, and in Hebrew, Yesh li guf meshulav L'sheim Shamayim. We'll repeat it 3 times. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. Yesh li guf meshulav L'sheim Shamayim. Now you say it in English or Hebrew, or both if you like. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. Yesh li guf meshulav L'sheim Shamayim. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. Yesh li guf meshulav L'sheim Shamayim. While we may seek integration for the sake of heaven, a kind of lifelong psychic symmetry, we know from experience that human beings never find unending harmony or happiness. Our search for non-stop bliss is self-deluded and doomed, because none of our victories or our defeats in life are ever complete or permanent. So we live with cognitive dissonance, never escaping from contradictory beliefs, ideas and values, hopes and dreams, and demands for action, which sap a great deal of our spiritual energy. It's as if we have a two-sided persona. At the outset of this journey, through our breathing, we can begin to get a very preliminary sense of what we ordinarily experience as oppositional, but that it's also possible to see those contradictions from a place of integration. We want to see the two sides of our persona from what we might think of as the space between them, holding them separately yet together at the same time in our awareness. So instead of them pulling us back and forth between them, we consciously choose, from a place of calm and insight, how to be in both places at the same time. To begin, take some long, slow breaths and focus your awareness on your exhales, making them as long and slow as possible. As your exhaled breath fades away, feel your body relax. Notice, too, where your exhaled breath fades to. Feel it going downward toward the perineum, the place between the anus and the genitals, which is the seat of the unconscious part of your embodied brain. As your next inhalation comes, seemingly without your conscious intention, notice where it comes from. You will sense it coming upward from the perineum, which is the region of the autonomic part of your embodied brain, which ensures your continued life even without you intending it. Notice that your focused awareness changes how you experience your consciousness and unconsciousness. Now, focus your awareness on breathing through only your left nostril, both inhaling and exhaling through the left nostril. As you breathe through the one nostril, concentrate your awareness on the entire left side of your body, noting how your consciousness and sensations of that half of your body begin to change as you do. Now, shift your attention to breathing entirely through the right nostril and concentrating your awareness on the right side of your body. Again, feeling how your consciousness and sensations begin to change. Go back to breathing through the left nostril and paying attention to the left side, and notice the changes. Shift back to breathing through the right nostril and paying attention to the right side, and again, notice the changes. Recall that there was some space, something in the middle in a manner of speaking, that was untouched by this movement back and forth from left to right and right to left. Now, inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils, fill your awareness with both the left side and the right side of your body, not as one but as two, yet at the same time. Notice that you occupy a space somewhere in the middle as you separately hold both sides in consciousness. Let go and come back to your natural, spontaneous breathing. Be aware of the shifts that took place in your consciousness as you went back and forth from left to right and right to left, and then to both sides together. That which remains untouched by the back and forth movement and by our awareness of both sides at the same time, the space between them, which allows observation and decision-making, is what we might regard as our observation and action central. We know it as the soul mind, the neshama de'ah, that which was breathed into all of us human beings in ways we cannot comprehend. Although we can't speak scientifically about the origins of the soul mind, we now know from neuroscience and neuropsychiatry how it works. First, it relies on our reciprocal interactions with other human beings for its own development and for our survival. Second, we know that what we're calling the soul mind controls energy and information flow that refires and then rewires the brain's neurons, changing the actual structure of the brain. Third, it also turns chromosomes on and off. And lastly, it serves as the seedbed of our morality. Consider that in the first part of this journey, You have experienced two sides of your bodily self from the mental space of the soul mind, a place from which you were able to make conscious choices. We turn now to much more challenging psychic and practical conflicts that we face in modern life. For example, we feel pressures to be fully invested in both communities of caring, such as family, faith communities, and support groups, and in institutions of creativity, such as corporations, universities, and cultural organizations. We're often torn between wanting recognition to be valued for our achievements and longing for redemption to realize our essential goodness, which we may bury within ourselves. In some places and times, we want only to assert command and gain renown. In others, we want to give and receive kindness, peace, and solitude. Sometimes we're fully preoccupied with the struggle to control others. Other times, we're fully preoccupied with the struggle for self-control. We're occasionally confused by our contradictory experiences of having seemingly unlimited power in some circumstances and debilitating powerlessness in others. Despite asserting dominion in many aspects of our life, we have an abiding sense of incompleteness. We are often confused about who the real me is going to be, as if we're still teenagers. And not surprisingly, our two-sided persona often takes us on an emotional roller coaster ride which reverberates throughout the other parts of our life. All this ambivalence is buried in our unconscious, which manifests in our psychic and bodily infirmities. These oppositional aspects of our lives are mirrored in the weaker and stronger sides of our body. Sometimes, for instance, the strength of one hand over the other is notable, sometimes barely discernible. Ditto for our eyes, arms, and legs. Now, bring into your awareness the entire side of your body that you regard as stronger. Focus your awareness on the eye first. Now the arm, the hand, and the leg. Now all of your stronger side parts together. Next, bring into your awareness the weaker side of your body, the eye, now the arm, the hand, and the leg. And all of those weaker side parts together. Returning your focused awareness to all the parts of your stronger side, recall to mind a memory in which you were in some way creatively masterful, for which you received recognition and felt the achievement had made your life more worthwhile. Allow yourself to dwell on the details of that experience, and in particular, to once again think the thoughts and feel the gratifying emotions that you felt then. Now, keeping focused awareness on all the parts of the weaker side of your body, recall to mind a memory in which you were in some way powerless, humbled, or even humiliated, an instance in which you desired nothing but compassion and comfort. Allow yourself to dwell on the details of that experience, and in particular, to once again think the thoughts and feel the painful emotions that you felt then. Using your conscious mind, notice how you just occupied a space that allowed you to see parts of yourself that are in psychic opposition. It's a place from which you can clearly see both sides of your persona. When we are in that space, we are using our soul mind, our neshama deah, the part of our mind that harbors our pure soul. It's the soul mind that enables us to achieve body, mind, spirit integration and to purify our emotional life and our moral spirituality. The essence of the process is not supernatural or magical in any sense, but simply an integration of all the parts of ourself, which is what allows us to uncover our pure soul. We are created as humankind by the Gaon HaKol, the mastermind of all, to be creators, and our first task is to create ourselves as complete, integrated human beings for the sake of our Creator. On the physiological level, it entails a neurobiological refiring and rewiring of our brain neurons, which we direct with our conscious soul mind. Now, take yourself back into your soul-mind consciousness and become aware of your whole right leg. Your whole left leg. Both legs together. Whole right arm. Whole left arm. Both arms together. The abdomen and the chest. The whole front side of the body. The buttocks, spinal column, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, back of the head, the whole back side of the body, the front and the back sides of the body together. The face. Right side of the head. Left side of the head. Back of the head. And the top of the head. Experience your whole physical body from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes. As you keep your awareness focused on your whole body, let yourself imagine that you're the solo driver of a long-haul truck and semi-trailer making deliveries around the country. You're getting ready to go on the road, and although your truck is fully loaded, it's carrying an unusual load, only 6 large containers. Checking the load, strangely enough, you find that the first container is packed with righteousness, the second with truth, the third justice, and the fourth, fifth, and sixth freedom, peace, and kindness, which gives you pause, but you decide to accept this Twilight Zone curiosity. As you check your delivery route, you see that you have a number of stops to make. Once on the road, your first delivery is to a senior clergyman who has been covering up the pedophilia and other sexual predations of his junior colleagues. When you arrive, you inform him that you have a delivery of righteousness for him, but he tells you that he's not going to accept delivery. At that moment, something else very strange happens. You hear a penetrating voice from heaven that asks, "What do you think about this situation, and what, if anything, are you going to do about it?" Keep focusing your awareness on your whole body. Your second delivery is to an awards dinner for the best Madison Avenue advertising campaign of the past year, one in which the winning agency produced TV commercials for high-carbohydrate foods that are the primary cause of the country's epidemic of metabolic syndrome diseases like diabetes. When you arrive, you inform them that you have a delivery of truth for them, but they tell you they're not going to accept delivery. At that moment, you again hear that penetrating voice from heaven asking, "What do you think about this situation? And what, if anything, are you going to do about it?" Keep focusing your awareness on your whole body. Your third delivery is to the police chief of the city where you live, who you happen to know personally and who has failed to train his officers to treat domestic violence as a crime. When you arrive, you inform him that you have a delivery of justice for him, but he tells you he's not going to accept delivery. You again hear that voice from heaven asking, "What do you think about this situation, and what, if anything, are you going to do about it?" Keep focusing your awareness on your whole body. Your fourth delivery is to a meeting of a state legislature, one which has been working non-stop to suppress voting by minorities, the poor, college students, and the elderly. When you arrive, you inform them that you have a delivery of freedom for them, but they tell you they're not going to accept delivery. And again comes the voice from heaven, What do you think about this situation, and what, if anything, are you going to do about it? Keep your awareness on your whole body. Your fifth delivery is to a meeting of neighborhood watch members who have been stopping and interrogating anyone of color who they see in their neighborhood after dark, usually reporting them to the police as suspicious, often resulting in their arrest, which is stoking racial animosity in the city. When you arrive, you inform them that you have a delivery of peace for them, but they tell you they're not going to accept delivery. Then comes the voice from heaven. What do you think about this situation, and what, if anything, are you going to do about it? Keep your awareness on your whole body. Your last delivery is to random strangers you encounter on the street of a major city, all of whom ignore your attempts to distract them from their smartphones and tablets to get them to listen to you and to see what's happening around them. You try to inform them that you have a delivery of kindness for them, but you can't get their attention. Undimmed, the voice from heaven asks, what do you think about this situation, and what, if anything, are you going to do about it? After a few moments of silence, the voice from heaven returns one last time and says, what are you doing down there with the gift of life I gave you? Now, come back to the present. Consider that although these questions from heaven push us into a struggle with the two sides of our persona, we can consider both sides calmly with our soul mind. In effect, we can see with clarity the opposing forces in our lives and take charge of them rather than having them take charge of us. So, regardless of whether we're working as a truck driver, a nurse, a janitor, a manager, a teacher, or a laborer, wherever we're working and whatever we're doing, our soul mind enables us to choose how we use our integrated bodies. What unites our two-sided persona is that we have only one set of moral spiritual guidelines for both worlds: righteousness, truth, and justice, freedom, peace, and kindness. Why these particular guidelines? Because without righteousness, there is no truth. Without truth, there is no justice. Without justice, there is no freedom. Without freedom, there is no peace. And without peace, there is no kindness. When we live up to these guidelines, regardless of which world we're in, our two-sided persona is united. We become one by virtue of the capacity of our pure soul to contribute unique goodness to both worlds. We can serve that purpose in a corporate organization or a covenantal community, on a construction site or in a 12-step group, in a university classroom or a neighborhood watch meeting. Regardless of which world we occupy at any moment, our kavanah remains the same. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. It is the soul mind, the neshama de'ah, that enables us to uplift our own life, the lives of others with whom we're interconnected, and the planet on which we all live. Whether we're engaged in command and control, or retreating in humility in the face of loss, defeat, or failure, we can nonetheless be engaged in that transformative mission if we choose to be. It's a mark of our spiritual maturity, however, to recognize that for many of us, the cost of making that choice is a painful transformation from being a taker to being a giver. But it is still our choice to live our lives with all our body, mind, and spirit for the sake of heaven, for righteousness, truth, and justice, freedom, peace, and kindness. To end this journey, then, return to your original kavanah, your intention. Yesh li guf meshulav l'sheim Shamayim. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven, that is, to transform the world in the divine image. Repeat it 3 times. Yesh li guf meshulav l'sheim Shamayim. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. Yesh li guf meshulav l'sheim Shamayim. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven. Yesh li guf meshulav l'sheim Shamayim. I have an integrated body for the sake of heaven.